What if I told you that the world you're seeing right now isn't really there until you show up? That's not poetry. It's not spirituality. It's quantum physics. You were never taught this in school, but reality isn't a thing you live in, it's something you generate. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every second of your focus, it all sends a signal. And that signal gets mirrored back as your life. Most people think they're reacting to the world, but in truth, they're reacting to the echo of their own energy. Here's the hard truth no one told you. Your life isn't happening to you, it's happening from you. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are energetically. In this video, we're going to break down the real mechanics behind manifestation. Not the Instagram version with crystals and mood boards, but the actual physics of how energy, frequency, and consciousness shape what you call reality. And once you understand this, you'll stop chasing results and start commanding outcomes. So if you're ready to take back control, not of the world, but of the frequency you're sending out, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's begin. Let's get one thing straight. Reality is not fixed. It's fluid. It's not some giant machine grinding forward on autopilot. It's more like a symphony, and you are the conductor. Everything you experience, from random events to deep relationships, is filtered through one thing: your energetic state. But here's the twist. You were never taught to master it. You were taught to manage time, to chase goals, to fix problems. But no one ever said, hey, maybe your state is the source of everything. That's what we're diving into today. Because when you finally understand how the quantum field responds to your inner signal, when you realize that your nervous system is not just a biological tool, but a broadcasting antenna, suddenly everything clicks. We'll talk about why some people always seem lucky while others are stuck in loops, why hard work without energetic alignment leads to burnout, and how to access the version of your life that already exists in another frequency. So I want to ask you, have you ever felt like something more was trying to reach you? A life that's not out there, but just out of sync? This isn't self-help hype. It's not magic. It's quantum mechanics. And your consciousness is the missing variable. Here's what no one tells you about reality. It's not a solid object you live inside. It's a responsive system, a living algorithm that adapts based on your internal code. Most people think their energy is some vague side effect of how they're feeling. But in truth, your energy is your code, and reality is just the output. Let's break this down. Imagine walking into a room. You're anxious. You're doubting yourself. You're hoping nobody notices you feel out of place.
Guess!
What? People will feel that before you speak. It's not because they're psychic, but because your energy field is transmitting noise. Now flip it. You walk into the same room, grounded, clear, embodied. You don't need to prove anything. You're just being. Suddenly, the room softens. People gravitate toward you. You didn't say a word, but your signal did.
This is
What we were never taught. Reality doesn't listen to your mouth. It listens to your frequency. And here's the kicker. Your frequency is programmable. But most people try to change their life by changing external variables. Job, relationship, location, strategy. Meanwhile, they're broadcasting the same inner noise, so nothing sticks. They take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. Not because they're broken, but because their signal is fractured. Let's get even more precise. Every moment, your body is generating data. Your heart emits an electromagnetic field measurable in feet around you. Your brainwaves shift based on your focus. Your breath patterns change your nervous system state. And all of that gets interpreted by the quantum field, not emotionally, but mathematically. The universe isn't sitting there thinking, oh, she's having a rough day, let's help her out. No. It's reading your vibration and matching it. Not because it loves you or hates you, but because that's how resonance works. So if you've been asking, why does it feel like I keep attracting the same situations over and over? The answer isn't out there. It's in here. You're not being tested. You're being mirrored. Let's talk about manifestation. People think it's about asking for something and waiting. But manifestation is not a request, it's a resonance. You don't get what you want, get what you broadcast consistently. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Your dominant emotional tone creates your timeline. That's not metaphor, that's math. If your emotional baseline is fear, guilt, or unworthiness, even subtly, you collapse probabilities that align. With those emotions, let me explain. In quantum physics, a particle exists in a state of probability until it's observed. That observation collapses the wave into a specific outcome. Your attention is the observation. Your emotion is the energy behind it. So if you walk into a situation expecting to fail, guess what? You've already collapsed the timeline where you succeed. Not because you're weak, but because you unconsciously selected a version of reality that matched your belief system. And here's the secret nobody tells you. Beliefs are not just thoughts. They're energetic filters. They color the way. You observe the field, and what you observe becomes real. So let's flip it. Let's say you start clearing those beliefs. You start feeling safe in your own nervous system. You stop bracing for impact. You breathe deeper. You become coherent. Suddenly things click. Calls come through. Opportunities emerge. People show up. The right words flow. It's not luck. That's energetic alignment. It's not about being high vibe 24/7. It's about being honest. Honest with where your energy is. And deliberate about shifting it. Because here's the truth. The quantum field doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs a clear signal. You've been taught to chase results, to grind harder, to push through. But let's get honest. If that really worked, you'd already be living your dream life. Here's what no one told you. Effort without alignment equals exhaustion. Most people are trying to bend reality with strategy, with hustle, with brute force. Meanwhile, their inner world is misfiring. Their frequency is fragmented. They're leaking energy through old stories, unresolved wounds, and subconscious fear. Let's put it simply. You can't out-hustle a misaligned frequency. The field doesn't care how hard you work. It responds to how clearly you vibrate. That's why someone can work 12 hours a day and stay stuck, while someone else makes quantum leaps with ease. It's not magic. It's not unfair. It's resonance. Think of your energy like a radio signal. If you're tuned to scarcity, all the stations of abundance are just static. You could be 1 millimeter away from your dream life, but if your frequency is off, you'll never hear the music. That's what most people don't get. The problem isn't distance, it's dissonance. And the solution? Coherence? Let's talk about that. Coherence means your thoughts, emotions, and body are in alignment. Not pretending, not forcing, but fully synced. When you're coherent, your field becomes strong. You don't have to convince anyone. Reality just starts to move. You probably felt this before. You're in flow. You're not overthinking. You're present. You're grounded. And suddenly, things line up. You meet someone. You get the insight. The door opens. And it feels effortless. That's not coincidence. That's energetic congruence. But coherence isn't a one-time thing. It's a discipline. And here's where most people fall off. They meditate once. They visualize. They feel good. For a day, and then reality doesn't shift fast enough, so they default. They let the old frequency take over. Stop broadcasting signal and go back to noise. But here's the truth. The field doesn't shift on your timeline. Shifts on your consistency. Because energy, like water, needs pressure to move. You have to hold the new frequency long enough for reality to reconfigure. And that's where most people quit. They want instant proof. But in the quantum, proof follows presence. You don't get validation first. You get reflection. Let's take it deeper. If you've been holding the identity of someone who's not enough, you're probably experiencing a timeline that reflects that. It's not because you deserve it, but because your subconscious identity is anchoring it. Let me be clear. The universe is not judging you. It's not punishing you. It's not watching. It's mirroring you. So what do? You upgrade the identity, not with words, with state. You live as the version of you who already feels worthy, already feels safe, already feels powerful. Not because life proved it, but because you're the one choosing the frequency. That's not delusion. That's quantum authorship. You're not here to wait for alignment. You're here to become it. And when you do, everything changes. Not all at once, not always loudly, but definitely, undeniably. The field starts sending you evidence, not because you chased it, but because you magnetized it. And once you realize that, you stop chasing everything that's already chasing you. Let's flip this. What if life isn't something you master? What if life is something that responds to your mastery of self? Because here's a truth that changes everything. Reality doesn't bend to action. It bends to frequency. And frequency, real frequency, doesn't lie. You can fake motivation. You can fake clarity. You can fake a smile. But your energy, it's the most honest thing about you. It's the signal behind your words. It's the message beneath your goals. The code that the universe reads before anything else. So let's ask the question. What's your dominant frequency? Not in your vision board, not in your morning affirmations, but in your nervous system, in your breath, in your baseline. Because if you're saying, I want freedom, but vibrating survival, the field hears survival. If you're saying, I'm ready, but carrying self-doubt, the field waits. The universe isn't ignoring you. It's mirroring you. It's showing you what you believe beneath the surface. And here's where it gets powerful. You can change your frequency. That's not spiritual fluff. That's emotional intelligence. It's energetic sovereignty. You can retrain your nervous system. You can rewire your beliefs. You can teach your body what it feels like to be free before there's proof. That's what quantum shift really means. Not chasing the external, but shifting so deeply. Internally, that the external has to rearrange, and the field will. It always does. But you must hold. You must hold the state. Hold the signal. Hold the version of you that already has what you're asking for. Even when nothing looks different yet. Especially when nothing looks different yet. That's the moment of power. It's a moment of transformation. That's when you stop reacting to the world and start rewriting it. Because you finally stopped negotiating with the past and started embodying the frequency of your future. Let's be real. Most people are exhausted not because they're doing too much, but because they're doing everything out of alignment. You can grind 16 hours a day, hustle nonstop, and still feel stuck. Why? Because if your internal frequency is lack, your actions, no matter how intense, will echo that lack. This is the trap. Trying to outwork an incoherent state. But you can't outperform your energy. And here's why. Every moment, your body is broadcasting data into the quantum field. Not just your thoughts, your breath, your posture, your tone, your presence. You're speaking without words. And reality listens more to your presence than your performance. So if you're constantly acting from fear, fear of missing out, fear of being behind, fear of not being enough, guess what? The field responds to fear. And what do you get? More evidence that confirms the fear. This is the loop. But you can break it. And not with positive thinking, with energetic precision. Let's go deeper. Your nervous system isn't just reacting to stress, it's shaping your identity. When you live in a dysregulated state, always anxious, always guarded, you shrink your access to higher frequencies. You can't access inspiration if your body thinks you're in danger. You can't manifest clarity while living in contraction. That's why breathwork isn't just a wellness trend. It's energetic technology. When you master your breath, you calm the chaos. You signal safety. And safety opens the field. From there, you can focus. Focus is your most underrated superpower. Not because it looks productive, but because it shapes frequency. Whatever you consistently focus on becomes your filter, and your filter becomes your feedback loop. So if your attention is scattered, reactive, or hijacked by fear, you scatter your energy. And scattered energy, it attracts nothing. It pushes everything into delay. But when your focus sharpens, your field sharpens. You become magnetic. Let's talk about that. Magnetism isn't about force. It's not about shouting your goals into the void. It's not about vision boards layered with desperation. Magnetism is coherence. It's when your body, your mind, and your heart are aligned, saying the same thing, holding the same signal, projecting the same identity. When that happens, reality starts to bend. Not dramatically, but undeniably. Opportunities arise without force. People show up without effort. Doors open because you stopped banging on the wrong ones. You became a match. That's the real flex. Not trying to manipulate life, but becoming so aligned that life can't help but align with you. But here's the catch. You must hold. Hold the signal when things don't make sense. Hold the signal when your mind screams for control. Hold the signal when the old you tries to pull you back, because the field responds to consistency. The problem is, most people shift for a moment, then panic when nothing happens, then fall back into doubt. And guess what? That reverts the field. But when you hold a new frequency long enough, clean enough, real enough, the field will start to reflect it. Sometimes slowly, sometimes in an avalanche, but always in alignment. Let's land this with truth. You are conditioned to chase approval, chase outcomes, chase certainty. But chasing puts you in lack, and lack is a weak signal. You don't need to chase, you need to remember who you are. You're here to embody what you're no longer available for. The moment you remember and hold it, you stop asking for permission, and you start receiving from precision, because you're not aligned with hope, you're aligned with truth, and that changes everything. And here's the part no one wants to admit. Even after all this awareness, you'll be tempted to go back to the noise, back to the hustle, back to chasing. Because the old identity, the one built on survival, doesn't die quietly. It clings, it whispers, it seduces, but now you know better. Now you've felt what alignment really is. And once you've felt it, you can't unfeel it. So next time reality starts glitching, next time you feel like you're losing traction, don't react. Pause, breathe. Remember, it's not the world, it's your field. This isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming intentional, and that starts now. There's a deeper layer to this that we haven't touched yet. The truth about timelines and identity shifts that changes everything. You'll want to see what comes next, because once you understand how to stabilize this frequency long-term, you'll stop visiting alignment and start living there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.